Good afternoon. Thanks for joining me today. I would like to discuss the Scopes trial. It's formerly known as the State of Tennessee versus John T. Scopes. It is commonly referred to the Scopes Monkey Trial. It was an American legal case in July of 1925 in where a substitute teacher, John Scopes, was accused of violating the Tennessee's Butler Act. Well, during this time, the Butler Act prohibited teachers from teaching about evolution, going against anything other than the biblical account of man's origin. So Scope was found guilty in using the Hunter's civic biology textbook. He remembers using the textbook in class, but he does not recall if he used the evolution portion of the book. However, so with that, they still found him guilty, and they put him on trial because he also believes that Darwin was right, essentially that it was the only plausible explanation on how man came to what it is today, whether regarding the present physical and mental development of humans today. So they put Scopes on trial, and the Secretary of State, William Jennings Bryan, was a prosecutor who was also, the former presidential candidate. And Scopes is defender. Scopes' lawyer was Clarence Darrow. So both lawyers were highly sought out of. They're very celebrity type lawyers. So in Wilshire's article, he stated that the trial jury, they found Scopes guilty, which is a verdict that was desired by both sides, both the prosecutor and by Darrow. Because Darrow he intended to appeal to the Tennessee Supreme Court. So, avoiding any constitutional questions, the court overturned the verdict on a technicality, saying that the jury, not the judge, should have imposed a $100 fine. It then dismissed the case, and then the Butler Act remained on the books until 1968, when the Supreme Court ruled in favor to repeal it, hindering the fact that it was hindering the quest for knowledge, restrict the freedom to learn, and restrain of the freedom to teach. So they found it unconstitutional underneath the First and the 14th Amendments. The Scopes trial brought in hundreds of reporters into Tennessee because of this. As I said, it was a very celebrity type trial. It was the first trial to be broadcasted on the radio. Both the prosecuting attorney and Scopes' defense attorney they're very charismatic, and they drew a significant amount of attention to the case, which for the defense was more about defeating the Butler Act than defending Scopes, which, I can understand in both aspects that they wanted to overrule the Butler Act, but he should have still focused on defending Scopes. William Jennings Bryan characterized the courtroom as a duel to the death. The duel of the death was one that would pit the religious fundamentalists against those who trusted in scientific conclusions, and would finally determine the right of the citizens to dictate the curricula of the schools, their tax dollars supported, to the fundamentalists, from whom which literal interpretation of the Bible was central to their faith, right? There was no room for compromise between the story of God's creation and the one of man's development of the species. These critics deemed evolutionist theories as a threat, not only to their belief in God, but to the very structure of Christian society. To hell with science if it's going to damn souls is how one fundamentalist framed the debate. And like I said, the Butler Act was repealed in 1967, 1968. We still have that debate today on where the creation of man came from. Was it creation of man from God, as in Adam and Eve, or if it was through evolution? And it's very much something that's sought out in schools today. But I want to thank you for joining my discussion and my discussion post, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.